What if the person you trusted most in the world was hiding a secret so dark it could shatter everything you thought was safe? This is the story of Emma, a 12-year-old girl whose bright smile hid a growing shadow. Stick with us, because what unfolds will grip your heart and leave you speechless. Emma was a spark of light in her small town. With her messy brown curls and a laugh that could fill a room, she was everyone's favorite. Her parents, Sarah and Tom, worked long hours, but their cozy home was filled with love. Emma's world revolved around school, her best friend Lily, and her sketchbook, where she drew fantastical worlds of dragons and heroes. But the person she adored most, her uncle Nate. Nate wasn't her real uncle, but a close family friend who'd been around since Emma was a baby. In his early 30s, with a goofy grin and endless stories, Nate was the cool adult every kid dreamed of. He'd show up with ice cream, teach Emma card tricks, and cheer the loudest at her school plays. To Emma, Nate was her safe place, a grown-up who got her. This summer, Nate started spending more time at Emma's house. Sarah and Tom were grateful. With their demanding jobs, Nate's help was a blessing. He'd take Emma to the park, help with her homework, and even let her stay up late watching superhero movies. Emma felt like the luckiest kid alive. But one afternoon, something small shifted. They were at the park, and Nate hugged her a little too long. Emma squirmed, laughing it off, but a tiny knot formed in her stomach. "You're growing up so fast, Em," Nate said, his voice soft. His eyes lingered on her in a way that made her feel strange. Was it just her imagination? Or was something changing in the person she trusted most? Keep watching, because this moment was only the beginning. Emma tried to shake off that weird moment at the park. Nate was her favorite person. There was no way he'd do anything to make her uncomfortable on purpose, right? She buried the thought and focused on the summer ahead. But as the weeks passed, the little moments piled up like pebbles in a stream. Nate started giving her gifts. Small things like a shiny keychain or a new sketchbook. "Our little secret," he'd say with a wink, pressing a finger to his lips. Emma giggled, feeling special, but the secrecy felt heavy. Why couldn't she tell her parents? Nate said it was because they'd be jealous of their special bond. That made sense, didn't it? One evening, while watching a movie, Nate put his arm around her. His hand rested on her shoulder, then slid down her arm. Emma froze, her heart racing. She wanted to move, but her body felt stuck. "You're my favorite person, Em," Nate whispered. His voice was warm, but it sent a chill down her spine. That night, Emma lay awake, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars on her ceiling. She felt confused. Nate was her uncle, well, almost. He loved her, didn't he? So why did his touches make her skin crawl? She told herself she was being silly. Grown-ups didn't do bad things. Did they? What was happening to Emma's safe world? And how far would this special bond go? School started, and Emma threw herself into her routine, hoping normalcy would erase the unease growing inside her. But Nate's visits didn't stop. He'd pick her up from school when her parents couldn't, and those car rides felt like a tightrope walk. He'd ask her about her day, but his questions always circled back to her. "Do you have a crush? You can tell me anything, Em." Emma started to dread his visits. She'd make excuses, homework, tiredness, but Nate always found a way to be alone with her. One day, he gave her a bracelet, delicate and silver. "Don't tell your mom," he said, his tone serious. "She wouldn't understand us." Emma nodded, her throat tight. The bracelet felt like a chain. At school, Lily noticed Emma's quietness. "You okay?" she asked. Emma wanted to spill everything, but the words stuck. What if Lily thought she was making it up? What if Nate got mad? The thought of his disappointment, or worse, his anger, kept her silent. Then came the night that tipped the scale. Nate was babysitting and Emma's parents were out late. After dinner, he suggested they cuddle up like old times. Emma's stomach churned. She said she was tired and ran to her room, locking the door. She heard his footsteps pause outside, then retreat. Her hands shook as she clutched her phone. Was Emma finally seeing the truth too terrifying to face? And what would she do when cornered? Keep watching, because the danger was closing in. Emma's world was crumbling. That night, after Nate left, she texted Lily. "Something's wrong with Uncle Nate. I'm scared." Lily replied instantly, promising to listen. But Emma couldn't bring herself to share the details yet. The bracelet on her wrist burned against her skin. She wanted to rip it off, but she was afraid Nate would notice. The next day, Nate acted as if nothing had happened. He brought her favorite pizza and joked with her parents as if nothing was wrong. Emma forced a laugh, but inside she was screaming. How could he be so normal when she felt so broken? Her parents didn't notice her distance. They trusted Nate completely. Emma started avoiding eye contact with him, hoping he'd back off. But Nate didn't back off. His texts started coming late at night. Innocent at first, like "Good night, kiddo," but they grew more personal. "You're so special, Em. I miss you when I'm not there." Emma's heart pounded as she read them. She deleted each one, terrified her mom might see. The secrecy was suffocating her. One afternoon, Nate showed up unannounced while Emma was home alone. "Thought I'd surprise you," he said, stepping inside. Emma's mouth went dry. She mumbled something about homework, but Nate sat on the couch, patting the spot next to him. "Come on, Em. Don't be shy." His smile didn't reach his eyes. Emma's instincts screamed to run, but where could she go? She was trapped in her own home with the person she used to trust most. How would Emma escape this moment? And what would happen if she didn't? Emma's heart raced as she backed away from Nate. I have to call Mom," she stammered, holding up her phone like a shield. Nate's smile faltered, but he nodded. "Sure, kiddo. I'll wait." Emma bolted to her room, locking the door. Her hands trembled as she dialed Lily, not her mom. She couldn't face her parents yet. Lily answered, and the words tumbled out. Nate's touches, the secrets, the fear. Lily listened, her voice steady. "Emma, this isn't okay. You have to tell someone. I'm here, but you need an adult." Emma sobbed, terrified of what telling would mean. Would her parents believe her? Would Nate hate her? Lily convinced her to talk to their school counselor, Ms. Carter, who was kind and always listened. The next day, Emma dragged herself to Ms. Carter's office, her stomach in knots. She told the story in halting whispers, her eyes fixed on the floor. Ms. Carter's face softened with concern. "Emma, you're so brave for telling me. We're going to make sure you're safe." Ms. Carter called Emma's parents, and that evening they sat in the living room stunned. Sarah cried, hugging Emma tightly. Tom's face was pale with anger. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" Sarah asked. Emma's voice broke. "I thought you'd be mad, or wouldn't believe me. Would Emma's family protect her? Or would Nate's betrayal tear them apart?" Nate's arrival sent a jolt through Emma. Her parents exchanged a glance, and Tom's jaw tightened. "Nate, we need to talk," he said, his voice cold. Nate's grin faded as he stepped inside, sensing the shift. Emma shrank into the couch, her heart pounding. Sarah spoke first, her voice shaking with fury. "Emma told us what's been happening. The gifts, the secrets, the way you've been touching her." Nate's eyes widened. His hands raised in defense. "Whoa, hold on. This is a misunderstanding. Em, you know I'd never hurt you, right?" Emma's throat closed up. She wanted to scream, but her voice was gone. Nate's gaze pinned her, pleading and accusing all at once. "She's just confused," he said. "Kids imagine things." Tom stepped forward, his fists clenched. "Don't you dare blame her." The argument escalated, voices overlapping in a storm of anger and denial. Nate insisted he was innocent, that Emma was misinterpreting his affection. Sarah's tears fell as she held Emma close. Finally, Tom pointed to the door. "Get out. We're done here." Nate left, but his parting words lingered like poison. "You'll regret this, Emma." Had Emma's family made the right call? Or had they just unleashed something worse? The danger isn't over. Keep watching. Emma's phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. A chilling message on the screen. The text read, "You shouldn't have lied, Em." Emma's blood ran cold. She blocked the number, but sleep eluded her that night. Nate's words echoed in her mind, twisting her courage into fear. Had she done the right thing? Her parents were a mess. Sarah blamed herself for not noticing sooner, while Tom wrestled with guilt and rage. They filed a police report, but the process was slow. Nate denied everything, claiming Emma was troubled. The lack of hard evidence made Emma feel small, like her truth didn't matter. School whispers followed her. Someone had spread rumors and kids stared. Lily stuck by her side, but Emma felt exposed, like her pain was on display. She stopped drawing, her sketchbook abandoned. The girl who once lit up rooms was fading. Miss Carter arranged for Emma to see a therapist, Dr. Lee, who helped her untangle her emotions. "You didn't cause this," Dr. Lee said. "Your voice matters." Emma clung to those words, but doubt gnawed at her. What if Nate came back? Was Emma's nightmare over, or just beginning? A shadow passes by Emma's window at night. She peers out her window, her breath fogging the glass. Emma's scream woke her parents. Tom searched the yard but found nothing. "Probably just a raccoon," he said, but his voice was tense. Emma wasn't convinced. She felt watched, like Nate's presence lingered in the shadows. The police questioned Nate, but he had an alibi, a friend who vouched for him. Without proof, they couldn't act. Emma's family installed a security system, but fear still crept into their home. Sarah quit her job to be with Emma more, and Tom worked late to cover the bills. Their strain was palpable. Emma's therapy sessions became her lifeline. Dr. Lee taught her coping strategies, like journaling her feelings. Writing helped Emma reclaim her voice, but the fear of Nate's return loomed. She started noticing small things: a car parked too long across the street, a missed call from a private number. One day, Lily found a note in Emma's locker. "I'm still here." Emma's knees buckled. Was Nate stalking her, or was someone else playing a cruel game? Who was behind the note? And how close was the danger? Emma finds a photo of herself tucked into her sketchbook. She holds the photo, her hands shaking. The photo showed Emma at the park, laughing, unaware she was being watched. It was recent, taken after Nate was told to stay away. Emma's vision blurred with tears as she showed it to her parents. Sarah gasped, and Tom called the police immediately. The officer, Detective Ruiz, took the photo seriously. "We'll increase patrols and look into Nate again," she promised. Emma felt a flicker of hope, but fear still gripped her. How had Nate gotten so close without her noticing? Detective Ruiz interviewed Emma, gently coaxing details about Nate's behavior. Emma's voice shook as she recounted the hugs, the gifts, the texts. "He made me feel like I was wrong for being scared," she admitted. Ruiz nodded. "That's what predators do." "You're not wrong, Emma." The investigation dug deeper. Ruiz found Nate's friend had lied about his alibi, and a search of Nate's apartment uncovered photos. Not just of Emma, but other kids. The realization hit Emma like a wave. She wasn't alone. What secrets were hidden in those photos? And would justice finally come? Nate's arrest was a whirlwind. The photos, texts, and witness statements painted a damning picture. Emma wasn't his only target. 2 other families came forward. The trial loomed, and Emma dreaded testifying. What if no one believed her? Dr. Lee prepared her, role-playing questions to build her confidence. "Your truth is your strength," she said. Emma clung to that, but the thought of facing Nate made her sick. Lily and her parents rallied around her, reminding her she wasn't alone. The first day in court was surreal. Nate sat there, clean-shaven and calm, like the man Emma once trusted. His lawyer argued he was a misunderstood friend, twisting Emma's words. When Emma took the stand, her voice trembled, but she spoke her truth, eyes locked on her mom. Nate's stare burned into her, but Emma didn't falter. She was done being silent. Would Emma's courage sway the jury? Or would Nate walk free? The jury's deliberation dragged on for days. Emma felt like she was holding her breath. Her family tried to keep things normal, but tension hung over them. She returned to school, where some kids were kind, others cruel. Lily shut down the gossip, but Emma still felt raw. At home, Emma found her sketchbook and started drawing again. Her dragons were fiercer now, their eyes blazing with defiance. Art became her escape, a way to reclaim her power. But nightmares of Nate's voice haunted her sleep. Detective Ruiz called with updates, but the waiting was agony. Emma wondered if her words had been enough. What if Nate manipulated his way out? The thought made her chest tight. One evening, Sarah sat with her, brushing her hair. "No matter what happens, you're our hero," she said. Emma's eyes filled with tears. For the first time, she felt a spark of pride. Would justice prevail, or would Emma's fight be for nothing? The call was from Ruiz. The jury had a verdict. Emma's family rushed to the courthouse, her heart pounding. The room was thick with tension as the judge read the decision. Guilty on multiple counts. Emma's knees buckled, and Sarah held her tight. Nate's face crumpled, his mask finally gone. As he was led away, he glanced at Emma, but she looked away. She was done letting him haunt her. The other families hugged her, their shared pain a quiet bond. Outside, reporters swarmed, but Tom shielded Emma. At home, they celebrated quietly, exhausted but relieved. Emma felt lighter, like a weight had lifted. But healing wasn't instant. She still jumped at shadows, still checked her locks. Dr. Lee reminded her, "Justice is a step, not the end. You're rebuilding yourself." Emma nodded, determined to keep going. Was this the end of Emma's story? Or the start of something new? Months passed, and Emma began to find her footing. Therapy helped her process the guilt and shame Nate had planted. She learned to name her emotions, to let them flow without drowning her. Drawing became her voice, her dragons now soaring instead of fighting. School was better too. Lily organized a club for kids to share their stories, and Emma joined, finding strength in others' courage. She even spoke at an assembly about trusting your instincts, her voice steady. Kids clapped, and Ms. Carter beamed. At home, her parents were healing too. Sarah and Tom went to counseling, learning to forgive themselves. They made time for family nights, laughing over board games. Emma's smile returned, brighter each day. But scars remained. Emma avoided parks and flinched at sudden touches. She knew healing wasn't linear, but she was determined to keep moving forward. Could Emma reclaim her spark completely? Or would the past always linger? Emma receives an invitation to an art show. The invitation was from Ms. Carter, who'd submitted Emma's sketches to a local art show for young artists. Emma hesitated. Her drawings felt too personal, but Lily and her parents urged her on. "Your art tells your story," Sarah said. "That's power." The show was a whirlwind. Emma's dragons drew crowds, their fierce beauty sparking whispers. A woman approached, a gallery owner, offering to mentor Emma. "You have a gift," she said. Emma's cheeks flushed with pride. That night, Emma stood with her family, watching people admire her work. She felt seen, not as a victim but as a creator. Lily hugged her, whispering, "You're unstoppable." Emma laughed, her first real laugh in months. Back home, she hung a new drawing above her bed, a phoenix rising from ashes. Emma writes a letter, her pen moving with purpose. She read the letter aloud at a community event, her voice clear. The letter was to other kids like her, shared at a community event for survivor awareness. She stood on stage, her family and Lily in the crowd, her heart full. "I was silent once," she read. "But silence isn't safety. Speaking up saved me. If you're scared, know you're not alone. Your voice is enough." The crowd cheered, and Emma's eyes met her mom's, both teary but proud. She'd come so far, from a girl trapped in fear to one who turned pain into purpose. Her art, her words, her courage, they were her armor now. Afterward, kids approached her, sharing their own stories. Emma listened, offering hugs and hope. She realized her story wasn't just hers. It was a light for others. Dr. Lee was right. Her truth was her strength. Back home, Emma sat with her sketchbook, sketching a new dream, helping kids find their voices through art. She wasn't sure how yet, but she knew she'd guide her. Her dragons soared higher, free at last. Thank you for walking Emma's journey with us. Her story reminds us that even in the deepest darkness, courage can light. If you or someone you know is struggling, speak up. Reach out to a trusted adult, a counselor, or a hotline like 1-800-656-HOPE. Your voice matters, and you're never alone. Subscribe for more stories that inspire, and share this video to spread Emma's message. Let's keep the light shining. Until next time, stay brave.